Hello, you. It's me. I'm back. Ah, sorry about the emotional last video. But for some reason, even 35 plus years after my grandmother has passed, it still gets me. I still miss her. But anyway, we've got something so interesting to talk about. I surprisingly caught not all, but most of the live by Hello Starlight, who was playing Gypsy's new live. And honestly, I just kept getting angrier and angrier. Because she's such a quirky, dorky girl, you guys. Not Hello Starlight, she's fine. But Gypsy, no, she's such a quirky, crazy little girl. So innocent. It drove me crazy. She's talking about how, she wasn't able to do stuff like Snapchat because she was in prison. Yeah. And what were you in prison for, Gypsy? Yeah, she acts like it was like a fucking camp or something. Oh, I had to go to camp for a while and I missed a bunch of great stuff. No. Maybe that was your experience in jail or prison, prison. But why were you there? Because I think most quirky, dorky girls, kill their mom. And let's be clear. She planned to do this for not just 2 years, but for longer than that, even before she met Nick. She ran around the house with a BB gun shooting her. Do most normal, quirky, dorky girls do that? I don't think so. I just, listening to her, I was just like, you're delusional. But see, that's part of the problem, is she probably is delusional. She thinks she's just normal like everybody else, but she's not. And she's not remorseful for any of the bad things she's done. She was talking about how she's being so attacked by the channels. But you notice she didn't once mention, at least not that I heard, and if she did mention it, my oopsie. But I didn't hear her mention anything about all of the videos she made making fun of a bunch of creators. I think the latest being Ash Too Trippy. She didn't mention that part, right? And honestly, I don't give a shit about that. I think she's bored and she's just trying to do something to pass time. And fuck it, go ahead. We make fun of her. So I guess she can do it back. I mean, personally, I don't have a problem with it. I don't care. If I was a creator who had been targeted, maybe I'd care more, but I wasn't. But Gypsy can do whatever. She can do that. She could do parodies. Who cares? She talked about how so many people were talking about her hair, and she said, "Oh my God, I'm so famous and popular. I have all these channels talking about my haircut." So, that doesn't make you famous. It makes you infamous. And as I have said before, if those channels weren't making videos, if I was, okay, I'm a pretty small channel. I'm like a teeny dot. But the point is, if channels weren't making any videos on Gypsy, nobody would know who the fuck she is. As I have said in my life, most people have no clue who she is, except for maybe what I told them. She's not famous. People don't care because she's famous. She's not Kim Kardashian or Britney Spears who suddenly shaved her head. That's not what's happening here. We're just like, what the fuck is she doing? That's what's happening. They're looking at Gypsy and saying, what the fuck is she doing now? What is this shit? That's what people are saying. It's not because you're famous. It's not because everybody has eyes on you. We just want to know what the fuck you're doing and why you're such an attention whore. For somebody who said, I don't want all this attention, then why are you making a video? Just get away from the internet. You don't want attention? Why are you making this video? In fact, why didn't you just write a little letter? Say, hey guys, I'm going to be away for a while. This is, not really what I wanted. I want to have a quiet life. Bye. Why'd you make a big ass fucking video? It's so stupid. The Austin thing. She said, oh, I felt so bad after that billboard that I wanted to unalive myself. No tears. Nothing. I'm sorry, but if you are in that very dark space, it's very hard to talk about it without crying, making a noise, feeling it. She wasn't feeling it. She was just saying it to try to get people to shut up. And then she and Kian went to Austin. You notice, I don't think she said Aurora, the baby, at all when she mentioned going to Austin. Maybe she did. But I heard a lot more emphasis on Ken and nothing on Aurora. And she talked about how she felt so free being away from social media. Then why did you record it all? Why did you put it up? So that we could see you in Texas. Explain that, because that's being on social media, you dink. That's continually perpetual. I hope you know what I'm saying. It's continuing the thing that you said you wanted to get away from. Perpetual motion? Anyway, look, sometimes my words don't come out quite the way I'd like them to. Anyhow, I'm so aggravated by this woman who, oh, I don't want to be in the media. But you're in the media right now. Oh, social media is terrible. It's detrimental to my health and made me want to unalive myself. Except it didn't, did it? Again, not a single tear, not anything, no emotion whatsoever. Just like matter-of-factly, well, I was going to do this. Blaming, was it TLC that had her show? I can't even remember. One of those things. Lifetime. It was Lifetime. Okay, so it's Lifetime's fault that she didn't get a third season, not her. She did mention ratings were low, but I'm guessing Lifetime said, hey, show the baby's face and we'll give you a third season. She said no. Except that she has almost showed the baby's face like 1,000,000 times. But then she talks about how she wants to protect her child. Are you insane? If you wanted to protect your child, you wouldn't have had one yet. You would have waited. You would have gotten a hell of a lot more therapy to see if maybe we could fix what's broken in you, Gypsy. But no, you just had to go do everything, which is part of your mental issues, in my opinion. That's my opinion. That's how I feel. She had the baby to make sure that Ken would stick around for a while. But all her stories just sound like bullshit. It just sounds like bullshit. I did write down a few notes. This one was my favorite. She said that as she steps away, to be sure, no, there's going to be hundreds of fake accounts, hundreds, thousands of fake accounts pretending to be her. Really? I mean, they might be parroting you and mocking you and making fun of you. But that's about it. I mean, that's it. I think most fake accounts, can't say all, but most fake accounts are created to mock you and do parodies of you and what you say, because what you say is so absolutely absurd. Let's see what else. I talked about that. Social media. Oh, here's something interesting. She said that she is so thankful to her friends and to her loved ones who have stuck by her and been with her and just been, really, they've been such a great part of her existence, keeping her spirits high and making her feel good. What about your mom? Didn't she do that? Didn't you say many times that she was your best friend? Your mother? The one that you murdered? So all those best friends, be careful. Because you can be her best friend one minute, and then as soon as you can't do something that she wants you to do, you're out. Now hopefully it's just you're out as far as she doesn't want to talk to you anymore, and not that she wants to wipe your existence off the face of the earth. But think about that. She's talking so wonderfully, so kindly to her friends and her loved ones, her family. Where was that with your mom, who dedicated her life to you? I mean, these people, they're taking their life into their own hands by staying friends and being friends. Just make sure, if you're friends with Gypsy Rose Blanchard, that you do everything she tells you to do, or else you might regret it. But I think the most interesting thing about her video was her threatening scarcity. Now, this is like a business tactic where, they'll say, like, the Labubu's, we'll use that as an example. Oh, there's not many there. They're pretty rare. You better get them while you can. And people did and do. I personally am not I love cute little fluffy things. I have my own little collection of stuffed animals that I've had since I was born. I literally have one little pink dog that was purchased for me the day I was born. Still have that. So I'm not opposed to stuffed animals or whatever you want to call them, plushies. But those things are creepy. I just don't like them. They're not my thing. But that's what Gypsy's doing. She's threatening scarcity. Well, I'm not going to be around. I may never be back. That is, in her mind, bringing her attention. Well, people want to pay attention to her now because she may not come back tomorrow. She's going to go live her own life privately, which we know she's full of shit, but that's what she's doing. She's threatening her scarcity. She's not going to be around, so you better pay attention right now. And it's your fault that I'm doing this. That's the other thing that got me. It's social media's fault. It's the people who make fun of her because of the way she dresses or how jealous she is of her sister, which, you guys, she's not jealous anymore. Sure. Although she did mention where Mia was living in the house with Ken for a few months. But I guess that was already out there, so her mentioning it isn't like a big deal. But she said, if I was so jealous of my sister and I was so, worried about my boyfriend, why would I let that happen when I'm not even living there? Oh, she proves such a point, as if Ken is such a catch. Although her and Ken, they seem to be at the similar level of indecency and disgustingness. So good. Keep them both off a market. Stay together. But I still worry about the baby Aurora, because she talks about being a mother, and you see nothing in her eyes, nothing in her face. There's most of the time when you see a mother talk about their child, they light up. You can see it in their eyes are sparkling, and you can see the smile. It's genuine and it's beautiful. It is truly beautiful to see. I love it. You get none of that with Gypsy. None of that. She talks about her almost 8-month-old child. Oh, it's changed her life. It's been so amazing. It's so cool. It's so great. I just never thought I'd ever feel like this. There's no feeling behind what she's saying. Nothing. There's no bragging. There's no little stories. Once again, if she hadn't mentioned Aurora the baby, I wouldn't know Aurora the baby exists. Talking about motherhood in such a strange way that nobody would talk about being a mom like. Again, there's no light up, there's no excitement, there's no, oh, she smiled at me and giggled, it was so cute. None of that. There's nothing. There's nothing. I don't, to me, it looks like a script that she's reading, trying to get a part in a play, and she's really bad at acting. That's what it looks like to me. Now, of course, that's my opinion. I'm not saying what I'm saying is real or true, but that's what I get from her. I get nothing. Still, no stories about milestones. Nothing. And I'm sorry, but if you are so out in the public about your pregnancy, about the birth, bragging about, oh my God, she did this, she did that, when you first have a child, and then suddenly 8 months later you say nothing? It doesn't make any sense. I wasn't on social media when I had my child. It didn't exist. Nothing like it is now, Facebook, maybe it existed, but no, Facebook didn't exist. None of that existed. But I tell you what, when I was at the bank, when I was at the grocery store, wherever I was, other mothers would approach me, grandmothers would approach me, I would approach other mothers. Oh, your baby's so cute. How old is he or she? You just do that. And then you say, oh my goodness, my child, oh, they did this and they did that. Oh, it's so great. You just do that. You are beaming because of your child. Even when you're exhausted, even when you haven't had any sleep or very little sleep, and you're just kind of trudging through the store, other mothers will come to you, other grandparents, other people. Oh, honey, it'll get better. You're doing fine. It happened all the time. People care about babies. People want to hear about babies. People want to brag about their babies, their children, their teenagers, their adults. I still brag about my child to people, and my child is married, not a child anymore, but they will always be my child, and I brag about them all the time to anybody who would listen because I'm so proud of them. You just do that. And Gypsy just looks like she's reading from a script. She doesn't care. It's sickening to watch. Will she actually step away from the media? I'd like to see it. I'd like to see nothing be said about her for the rest of the year. We're already in August, toward the end of August. So we have September, October, November, December. 4 months. Let's not hear anything from Gypsy for 4 months. And I'm not talking about her doing things and then having someone else put it out in the social media sphere. No. I'm talking dead silence for 4 months. Can she do it? No. I don't think so. That's my opinion. Because she can't do it now. Her complaining about social media while she's on social media complaining about it, there's an irony there. I don't think she could step away. She talked about how she doesn't want to be in the public eye. Then why did you do all the interviews? Why did you write the books? Why did you agree to the Lifetime show? There was more than one. There was The Life After Lockup, which was, I guess, the most recent. There was one you did while you were still in prison. There were all these different movies and stuff made of you. Why did you let that happen? And why do you say, this is the thing that got me the most, the thing that got me the angriest, is her saying, I want to give Aurora the baby a regular life, the kind of life I didn't have. Really? You're right. You didn't have a regular life. You had a fucking privileged life. Privileged. Yes, you were a sick child. You were. Gypsy was a sick child. But I've never seen a sick child get so many vacations in my life. Get toys made specially for her. A dollhouse made specially for her. She got so much crap and so many pats on the back. You're right. Gypsy didn't have a regular life. She had an extremely privileged, spoiled life. Most people don't get that. So what is she going to give to Aurora the baby? She's not going to give her any of those little fun things. I mean, she's selling a bunch of her own child's things that her child could use. And her excuse is, well, I have to feed the baby. Are you even feeding the baby like more than just formula? Because that baby is not going to be a healthy baby. If they're at 8 months, they're not even eating any kind of solid foods. Unless the baby can't. But nothing adds up in this world that Gypsy has created. Nothing. That's just how it is. But let's see. Is she going to go radio silent? We'll see. I doubt it. I doubt it. She's going to do... I love how people are saying on the channels, oh, she's doing that by proxy. Sheena is putting out her videos. It's by proxy. That makes me laugh. But I wouldn't be surprised if she did that. Or suddenly, oh my goodness, she's doing something and the videos are leaked to the public. The thing is that most of the public doesn't know about you and doesn't care. Trying so desperate. All I see is she's just trying so desperate to stay relevant. And she's not anymore. I'm sure TMZ, they don't take her calls because they don't care. They don't care. Unless she's done another crime, they're really probably not going to report on her anymore because she doesn't matter. And she hates that. So she's threatening the scarcity to see if she can generate a little more interest in her. And maybe she will. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see people as really caring. But, man, I watched most of that live. I don't think I saw all of it, and I don't know if I want to. Because just what I heard made me angry. Because she's such a little liar. She's so full of it. I can't stand it. But she's trying to be so normal and so quirky and a little dorky. Giggle, giggle. No, you're not. You are a woman who murdered your mother and have absolutely no remorse for it. Not at all. None. That's who you are. You want to know who Gypsy Rose is? She says she didn't know herself, but she's learning herself now. You are a horrible, mentally damaged human being, in my opinion, who needs a lot of professional psychiatric help, in my opinion. And you need to not have a child in your custody, in my opinion, because it is very likely that if the child is real, that you will harm said child. Or Ken, who supposedly gave you that child. That's the reality. The reality is that Gypsy is a criminal who never really admitted her crime, never felt remorseful, and just thinks it should go away. But you, Gypsy, haven't done anything to make it go away. The only thing that you want is fame. And the more that you pursue fame without being remorseful, without really taking into account what you did, why you did it, etc., and stop with all of the, oh, I was being abused and neglected. No, you weren't. In your own words, you've said the complete opposite. I didn't have to do anything except exist because my mother did it all. My mother was my best friend. Look at how you treated your best friend. It's disgusting. That's why people are on Gypsy's case. Because she's not accountable for what she did. Her opinion is, oh, that was so 10 years ago, what does it matter? Because you murdered someone, that's why it matters. I knew a guy. He was a boyfriend of mine for a while. We broke up, we went on with our lives. I saw him as maybe 4 or 5 years later. And he told me the story of him being in jail. And he was in jail because he accidentally killed a guy. He was walking down the street. It was, late at night, maybe midnight, 1 a.m. And he hears this girl screaming and yelling. And he looks over, and behind a building, this guy was attempting to harm this woman. So he grabbed him and started fighting with him. And the guy lost his balance and fell. And if you're not from Los Angeles, there is an area, they're canals. And they're called the LA River, but it's not. There's usually no water in it, or very tiny bit of water in it. And the guy fell into that. It's a big concrete canal with nothing in it. And the guy fell there and he passed away. And my friend, ex-boyfriend, was in jail or prison, I'm not sure which, for about 4 or 5 months until it finally came to trial. And he was, I don't know what you call it, exonerated, I don't know, because it was self-defense. But even years after that, and mind you, he didn't know this guy. He was just trying to help this woman that this guy was attacking. And so obviously this wasn't a good guy. But even years later, it still haunted him. It was still a pivotal moment in his life that he'll never forget. I mean, he was the hero in the story. But it still haunted him that he took another man's life, accidentally or not. Self-defense, yes. But it still haunted him. And the way that Gypsy just goes on about her business with somebody that she knew, that loved her, that cherished her for nearly 24 years. And she so callously says, oh, it was only 10, that was so 10 years ago, who cares? How is she like that? That's where the problem lies. Because most people, self-defense or not, most people, desperation, it still affects them in a lot of negative ways. It stays with them. It hasn't stayed with Gypsy. It hasn't stayed with her at all. Why is that? That's the question. That's the dangerous part of Gypsy because it doesn't affect her at all. That's why I talk about it. Because she is indeed a dangerous human being. To so flippantly not care, oh, that was so 10 years ago, when she murdered somebody, her own mom. That's not normal. I mean, what is normal, right? But that's not how a human acts. That's why she's dangerous. And that's why we talk about her. Anyway, thank you for listening. And that's all I've got to say.